NFL doubleheader.
Back, and then put them on their back. That's the way to create hope. Knock the defensive linemen on their backs.
Sure does help if you're the runner, doesn't it? First and 10, Rams at the 21. Here comes the giant blitz. Everett to Henry Ellard. Another first down. Perry Williams, the defender. Gain of 17.
That was bad pass coverage against Williams there because there was a big rush on Everett. Now, and he had to lob the ball out there. Now watch it, the cushion Ellard gets. You see, he runs Perry Williams out. By that time, a good corner has to make that reaction.
First down, Rams at their own 38. They lead by a touchdown. Bell with room. Carl Banks made the stop, but Bell got 7. Welcome those of you who watched Minnesota win with 15 seconds remaining over the Eagles to the Giants and the Rams at the Meadowlands. 7-0 the Rams lead it. The Rams blocked a giant punt early, and that punt block led to their touchdown. Scored from Everett to Holohan. Second and 3. Holohan split wide to the right this time. And on Bell, hit in the backfield by Dorsey. Gaston Green, I beg your pardon, not Bell.
That's the thing that Dorsey did that time. The thing you want to do is get penetration. Watch Dorsey here. He gets across the line and he gets Bell right here before he can even get to the line of scrimmage. We saw where Jackie Slater put him on his back. That time Slater blocked down. No one blocked Dorsey. And there was Green right there. He didn't have a chance to get started.
The Rams' #1 draft choice, Henry Ellard, and Aaron Cox to the left. Willie Anderson to the right. Everett back to throw. Intended for Cox. Incomplete.
They were going for it. Aaron Cox is one of those guys that they got for Eric Dickerson. He was the #1 draft choice. He's a rookie. Jim Everett said, I knew he was a player the first day I saw him in minicamp.
He and Willie Anderson both. Rich Camarillo now to punt. So many outstanding years with New England. This one is not outstanding. McConkey swamped as the Rams are down in a hurry. McConkey's down at about the 17. Cincinnati beat Cleveland. That's the final. Buffalo remains unbeaten over the Steelers. San Diego leads Kansas City in Kansas City. Phil Simms 4 out of 8. Very calm, confident, tough quarterback. John Robinson was very emphatic yesterday when we were talking to him. He said, I like Phil Simms. He'll fight you. Back to throw is Simms. First down. Over the middle to Joe Morris. Stopped by Kevin Green after a gain of 5.
I think one thing the Giants would like to do is have success on first down. I mean, that's obvious. Everyone would like that. But they've been ending up averaging 9 yards on third down, which is the worst in the NFL. They haven't had good success on first or second down.
Now they have 2nd and 5, and the give is to Morris. Morris out of the pack. Stopped finally by Johnny Johnson and Carl Eckern. But a 14-yard gain and a Giant first down.
Watch the left guard there on the right of the screen, Billy Ard. He's going to pull and lead Joe Morris around. See the guard pull, gets the lead. Morris follows him right up, gets a good block right there, and that's the block that sprung Morris through the hole.
17 seconds left to play in the first quarter, less than that. And off again to Morris. This time, he does well to get back to the line of scrimmage, hemmed up by Mark Giroux. That's at the end of the first quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing. their own 36. Giants had 4 first downs in the first quarter. 5, beg your pardon. The Rams had the 4. Showing blitz. The Giants do a pretty good job of picking it up, but he's got Ingram. Covered by Jerry Gray, but Ingram had a couple of steps. Eckern is the man who put the pressure on Sims.
There's the Ram offensive line there, sitting there and talking about what they have to do. You see that guy 66? Just saw him there. That's Newsome. I think he's one of the best guards in the league. Tom Newberry, 66 right there. As far as a run blocker, I don't think there's anyone that blocks a run as well as he does.
6'2" and 280. Odessa Turner with the man split wide right. They get the ball to Bavaro. Bavaro fights for extra yardage. He got 7, stopped by Johnny Johnson.
Yeah, it was interesting yesterday. Bill Parcells was saying about Bavaro that he finally thinks that he's back this week, that he's finally ready to be something like Mark Bavaro used to be.
Said he's physically ready to play now. Buford back deep. Henry Ellard back for the Rams. They jumped again. I'm not sure if Oates pulled him or not. Ellard feels it. And he'll go out of bounds.
I'm sure the Giants thinks it's against the Rams because their offense is coming back.
It is against the Rams.
It'll also be another first down for the Giants. I think what they're trying to do is they're going maybe on the movement of Bart Oates' head. See, when he goes up, Oates looks through his leg, then he goes up to look again, and they think that's moving. They're jumping.
Defense, first down.
That's happened 3 times so far. The Giants got 2 of them. The Rams got 1. And I think the Giants should have had all 3.
So it's first down Giants. Now at their own 48. 6 seconds of the second quarter. Big draw. Kamara. Outside the mark. Out of bounds. By Michael Stewart. A flag down after the play is over. More.
The Rams are self-destructing on this drive. That's going to be one of those 15-yard penalties. It's a tough thing for a guy.
Number 23, defense, first down.
You know, you're going after that running back. Watch Stewart go after him. Then you finally get him, but you get out of bounds. You want to finish him off, but you can't. You see, and he just stayed with it too long. Stewart, right there, you have to let him go. But that's a tough thing to do. You're right in the middle of it. You're right in the middle of a tackle. You're hanging on the guy. What are you supposed to do? You can't just fall off.
And you can't be looking at the sideline.
No, that's a tough one. It really is.
First down, Giants at the Ram 28. Here comes Sims back to throw. They have protected him well. The ball is high. Maurice Carthon was the intended receiver. Mel Owens on the coverage.
The other guy who's doing a good job is John Elliott here. Watch him, the right tackle, 76 here. Watch the blocking that he's doing. He's doing a good job of pass protection today. He's on Doug Reed here. Watch him. He gets his hands up there. Then when he starts to get up, just push him right beyond the quarterback. Then the quarterback can step up. I'll tell you, Elliott's a guy that I said a couple weeks ago, he's going to step in there for an injured Carl Nelson and not come out for 10 years.
Sims 7 out of 13. And the Rams are going to be stuck with a penalty, but Morris gets enough yardage to get close to a first down before he's stopped by Johnny Johnson and Carl Eckern.
That's going to be against Kevin Green, 91. He jumped offside. He was in that neutral zone before the ball was snapped.
Probably decline this one.
or you get the down.
Would be 2nd and 2.
Offside, number 91 defense. Still second down.
Yeah, so it's 2nd and 5 is what they took.
Right.
Because they didn't want that 3rd and short.
Rams have been penalized 4 times for 30 yards. Lionel Manuel split wide to the right. Sims gives to Morris. Got some room. Morris is out of bounds at about the 16 by Johnny Johnson and Jerry Gray.
It was a heck of a block by Maurice Carthon as a lead blocker. Watch him, number 44. They're going to come to the right. Bavaro gets a good block, too. There's Carthon. He just takes his man down, and that gives the Giants what you call a soft corner. You knock that corner, that outside guy down, and whack, you just get right around it. Carthon is one of those guys who does well in the things that they don't have stats for.
And he makes Joe Morris so much more effective. Here's Sims. A lot of time. And finally down. First sack by the Rams. Sean Miller and Mel Owens cut Phil Sims down.
And that was a coverage sack, Pat, because Phil Sims just didn't have anyone to go to. Great coverage by the Rams secondary, because if you look at it, and we'll look at it here, watch as Sims comes back here, we'll just stop it. Now he's ready to throw, but look, he doesn't have anyone open. Look at that Ram coverage, although I don't think he sees that guy right there.
2nd and 14 from the 20. They give to Morris. Tripped up after a couple by Jerry Gray. Bring up a 3rd down situation, and here come Adams and Odessa Turner for the Giants.
The Giants have had a couple of 3rd downs today, and they've completed passes short of the 1st down marker. Now this one here, you got 3rd and 12. I think you have to throw a 15-yard pass, try and get a 1st down, because you already have the field goal.
Manuel and Ingram are left. Turner is right. Sims with time, and there again, Adams is taken down by Jerry Gray. He had to settle for something short. No gain. In fact, Kevin Green finally put the pressure on Sims.
That's where the Giants are having trouble in this first half, is that 3rd down passing situation, not having protection problems, not having completion problems, but just getting the ball up for the 1st down.
So here is Allegre with Hostetler holding. Very steady from here. 34 yards he is. Good. So with 11:23 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium, it's the Rams 7, the Giants 3. Giants 3, we think. Allegre's 34-yard field goal. The Giants kept the ball 12 plays, went 66 yards. It's good, but it was close.
I don't know if it was good or not.
Del Pino was the return man. Giants are saying they got it, but the defensive unit's coming on the field. Adrian White. Look at this.
Yeah, I think that's outside the right bar. Watch this. It's on the right hash mark. Allegre kicks it. I don't think that thing was good. That thing ends up outside the bar. But both guys, look at the guy on the left of the screen. He looks over the other guy. He's saying, did you have it? I had it too. Okay, let's give it to him. I don't know about that one.
Rams from their 19. Everett. Up. Henry Allard. That missed field goal, by the way, is not something they review. with the instant replay officials. They did look at it, stopped it, said it was over the top of the right upright. Aaron Cox is split wide to the left. This is Ellard in motion. Second and 10. Give this to Bell. Bell is hit by Banks in the backfield. Loss of 2.
The other guy who's playing well over there now, we saw him get knocked down once, but is Eric Dorsey. He was the guy that he held his own on that side too. The left guard, Tom Newberry, came out to trap him. He made him miss him, and he was right in the hole. He's a big, strong guy. Probably the strongest guy in this Giant team, Eric Dorsey.
He goes about 290. Willie Anderson, who can really fly, split wide to the right. Go with 3 wide receivers. Everett goes back to throw. Up into the pocket. Willie Anderson was open. Everett had to move up into the pocket and had a little too much arm. Rich Camarillo back to punt for the Rams. And Phil McConkey, NFL leader in punt returns, back for the Giants. Good kick by Camarillo. McConkey retreats to his own 33. And the Rams are down in a hurry, and down goes the flag. 2 flags.
That's going to be one of those things. Blocking in the back. Going to be against the Rams and put them deeper in the hole. That happened right in front of the punt returner.
Excuse me, John. Anthony Newman was a man down.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's going to be against the Giants.
Against Odessa Turner.
You can see it. He does it right in front of McConkey. Right there. Right there. He hit him in the back.
Illegal block. Number 83 on the receiving team.
Tell you what, that's a heck of a play. So the Giants will take over at their own 21 now, with 10-12 left to play in the first half. Summarize what's happened so far. The Rams blocked a Buford punt, then got a touchdown pass from Everett to Pete Holohan. They lead 7-3. Sims back to throw on first down. Chase out of the pocket. Finally gets it out to Morris, who had it and lost it. Incomplete. Mike Wilshire on the coverage. Again, the pressure came from Kevin Green.
Carthon did a nice job of riding Green beyond Sims so that he had a little extra time to get it to Morris. I think the Giants are kind of in a dilemma here that the third yardage is too long and they're not picking up the first downs and they're not having success on the first or second down. So you throw on first down to get more, and then if you're incomplete, you're second down.
Here's the sack. And down goes the ball, the scramble. Rams say they have it. It was Kevin Green again who applied the pressure.
That was John Elliott. He just beat him on a speed rush. Watch him right here. Here's Elliott. Green is just going to come right around him and get to Sims here. Watch him here. Elliott has to turn out. There he is. He just runs right by him and hits Sims and knocks the ball out. Elliott goes for it and doesn't get it.
Doug Reed is the man who got it.
That's what Bill Parcells said. He said last week Elliott had too tall. I didn't worry about it as much last week as this week. He has those linebackers and their speed guys that just run around you. I worry more about him with speed than with strength or power.
So the Rams will have it 1st and 10 at the Giants 16.
After further review, the play stands. First down.
They were probably reviewing to see if Sims's arm was going forward, to see if it was an incomplete pass or a fumble, and that one was a fumble.
Greg Bell, the lone setback. Holohan goes in motion. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Dorsey. a yard. Johnny Cooks finished him off after Dorsey hit him first.
I'll tell you, Dorsey again, here, watch him getting penetration. That's the big thing again, the running game. You got to get in their backfield. No one blocks Dorsey. That's the second time they did that. They blocked down. Dorsey stopped him and then tried to kick the ball out of his hand. That would have been a penalty. I think it should have been anyway.
2nd and 11. Houlihan on the move again. To about the 6. Mark Collins made the stop. A gain of 11.
Hey, when you get down inside the 20, they're going to try to get the ball to this guy. When you get 3rd and 5, they're going to try to get the ball to this guy. Watch Houlihan, he's the 3rd guy in, number 81. This is the 2nd time he's run this type of pattern. This time someone came off with him, but they came off too late. That was Johnny Cooks that time. Remember down in the goal line, he ran the same type of pattern, and no one came off with him.
They needed 11. The gain was 11. And they got the first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
You know, Houlihan is from New York State. In fact, he was the first guy in this state that ever made All-State in both basketball and football. He was a quarterback. He was recruited out of high school as a quarterback at Notre Dame.
Rams owner Georgia Frontiere. 1st and goal at the 6. Greg Bell inside the 5, just barely. Mark Collins came up to lead the defense. Bell.
You see Mark Collins knife in there, all those big guys. Irv Pankey was pulling from the other side, Tom Newberry. And here's little Mark Collins. He just sneaks up into the pile. Watch him. Here comes those big guys pulling out to that side. Here comes 25. He's in the bottom. They didn't even see him sneak in there. He kind of slithered in underneath all the bigness.
Well, he only got a yard, so it's 2nd and goal from the 5. Everett straight back. Outside to Del Pino. Touchdown. Heavy pressure by Johnny Cooks, but Everett got the ball off to the rookie from Missouri. They really like him.
I'll tell you they do, because he's not only a good runner, but he's a good pass receiver. As a matter of fact, at one time he was a wide receiver. But watch Everett, how he throws off his back foot. He's getting the big rush, and he throws going away. You're not supposed to do that, but when you have a guy wide open and uncovered, you can even throw off your back foot going away.
When you got somebody right in your face again, too, you have to. Lansford with a Houlihan holding. And with 8:03 left in the first half, it's the Rams 14, the Giants 3. Both scores as a result of turnovers.
The dream is worth its weight in gold.
Bud Light. Now that's the American dream.
Reminder that next Saturday, of course, CBS Sports continues its tour of the Southeastern Conference as LSU, Louisiana State, travels to Florida, to Gainesville, to battle the undefeated Gators. Kenny Hill returning this kickoff. Finds a little opening, gets it out to the 25.
You know, that's the second touchdown for the Rams, 14-0. But we're going to see here, no one covers Del Pino. They get the blitz. They get the blitz. Now, he's a hot receiver. He goes out, they cover him. Now, when he comes out here, when he blitzes, there's no one to cover him. Watch that. They get the blitz inside. So now Del Pino, the fullback, becomes the hot receiver. But you see, as he goes out, there's no one out there. Everett sees it. They can't block the outside guy coming. He has to get the ball to Del Pino.
Hand off to Joe Morris, trying to cut back. Gets perhaps a yard. Mark Giroux tripped him up.
It's an interesting thing, as I said, the Rams have 14 points, and they have passed for 14 points, and both times the guy was uncovered.
A little instruction going on to the offensive line. Over in front of the Ram bench, 2nd and 9. Here's that Eagle defense. Down goes Sims, and the ball's loose again. Kevin Green again.
And again, it was Kevin Green just running around John Elliott. We'll see it. Here's Kevin Green here, and we'll just see him just take off and get to Sims. Elliott's a right tackle. See, he sets up. Green just beats him with speed, not with power. He just beats him with speed, and both times he hit Sims, he knocked the ball out. He not only got the sack, but he jarred the ball loose.
And just to repeat what you said and what Bill Parcells said, it's the speed guys he was worried about. That's Gary Jeter, who is down, who had that spectacular day last week against the Raiders with 5 sacks. Ex-Giant.
Well, that's a 3rd sack against the Giants already, and that's the thing that they're having with the last 2 have been big ones, because he not only got there, but both times he knocked the ball out of Sims's hand.
That time Elliott made the recovery of the fumble when the ball was loose on the ground. Jeter being attended to. Giant mistakes, or Ram forced turnovers, I think you'd have to say. They blocked the punt, and now they recovered a fumble, and that led to both of their touchdowns.
And then both of their touchdowns, as we said, remember Pete Holohan, he was wide open, kind of uncovered when he made it, and then Del Pino catches one wide open. Hey, the Rams are a well-coached team that do the subtle things, the little things very well, and I think that's the difference between a well-coached team and an average coach team. You know, the well-coached team does those little things very well.
You mean like the kicking game and the punt coverage and the kickoff coverage and stuff like that?
Right, and then being able to get down there in the goal line and know what to expect and have a play to take advantage of it. To move guys, maybe not have the best players, but move them around where they do the best things, like Kevin Green being a linebacker but becoming a pass rusher.
Giants have 3rd and 18 from their 17. Sims. Pass is picked off by, it's intended for Ingram. It's Jerry Gray on the return, and Gray is out of bounds at the Giant 22.
The Rams do those things. You know, they get a punt block, then they hit the quarterback, then they get a fumble, then they come back with an interception, and then after they do those things, they know how to take advantage of it. What Sims there, he's looking for Ingram, that just goes right through his hand, and Gray is sitting back there in his zone, and he picks it off.
And so the Rams again with great location on the field at the Giant 22. With 1st and 10 from there. Bell alone setback. Holohan starts in motion. Reverse coming to Henry Ellard. Ellard down inside the 15 to the 14 where he slipped. Faced by Mark Collins, a gain of 7.
You know, the other thing, by having a running game, by throwing some short passes, by going reverses and changing everything up, what you do is you take a lot of pressure off your quarterback, and I don't think Jim Everett is ready to take a lot of pressure yet.
Holohan is out. Embry has replaced him. 2nd and 3. Embry in motion. Bell to the outside. Bell inside the Giant 10 to about the 7. Stopped finally by Harry Carson. Gain of 8.
A great move by Greg Bell. He gave Johnny Cooks, was the end man on the line of scrimmage, and he was really free, and Bell just gave him an inside step and then bounced out around him.
Here's a guy who's really produced. When they got him from Buffalo, it was sort of a throw-in deal. He had a rap of staying injured all the time, but he's really come through.
Watch the move on Cooks. Right there, you see Cooks is inside. He just gives a bounce, and he's outside at 98. Cooks saying, where'd that guy go?
First and goal at the 6. Buford McGee leading Bell to the 5. Cooks on the stop. Gain of 1.
Ball carried.
I'll tell you one thing, if I were the Giants right now, I would say watch out for number 81. I would think if whatever the Rams play is going to be in this situation, probably has to be a pass, and I would think they would try and get it to Pete Holohan. Although that would be tough to do because he's not in the game.
Robert Cox, number 72, will line up and tight end this time. He has reported into the official.
Well, then that's going to be a running play. This is going to be with second down. It would be a run.
Mickey Bell. Outside of Bell. Flag is down in the end zone. Bell is down at about the 1. Harry Williams knocked him down.
Bell is down there. He's yelling for a face mask. The call is going to be holding against the Rams.
The flag was thrown in the end zone.
Holding, 52 defense, first down.
Holding against Pepper Johnson. Whatever took place in the end zone.
It's going to be, watch number 52, Pepper Johnson. It's going to be right here to the right of the screen. And it's going to happen right there. I didn't see anything happen, but I'm sure that's where it happened.
I didn't see it either. Robert Cox, this time lined up at tight end to the right side. First and goal for the 2. He's on is to Buford McGee, and there's nothing there for him. No gain.
You know, the biggest thing about that penalty is that it gave the Rams a first down. So now they picked up 3 downs on the goal line to try and get it in there.
On the tackle.
3:40 left to play in the first half. It'll be second and goal from the 2. Bell and McGee are the setbacks behind Everett. Back to Bell. Touchdown, Rams. Bell from 2 yards out.
I'll tell you one thing, I was talking about Tom Newberry, that being one of the best run-blocking guards in the league. I'll tell you, did he block on that play? You talk about a guy, watch 66 as he comes out here. He's just going to take that pile, watch 66 here, take that pile and just knock it back into the end zone. Look at that. And then the Bell just gets right in behind him. You talk about a guy who was a pile mover, that's Newberry.
He just moved the whole thing. Bell took advantage. It's 21-3. Rams over the Giants.
Here's the thing that they do well. They get down there, I formation. That's a Rams formation. Pull the guard. Get right in behind your guard. Newberry knocked Andy Hedden about halfway up the I in Giants.
They talk about Newberry and the bulk and how good he is and how well constructed he is. Look at the mistakes and look at it taking advantage of it. But they say he has the quickest feet of any of the Ram linemen.
Yeah, we'll see it the next time the Rams get the ball. His feet are so quick and he pulls so quick that Jim Everett in his stance has to put his left foot back. Because if he keeps his left foot up there, Newberry steps on it when he's pulling.
He's out of there so quick.
And the guy weighs 280 pounds.
21-3. With 3:19 left to play first half. Get a chance to look at the rest of the scores around the league. Dallas was down 20-14, came back. 49ers on 2 touchdown passes by Jordan Montana. Phoenix has gone ahead of the Redskins. And their new quarterback, Mark Rippon, who did throw a touchdown pass for the Redskins' only points. Lansford's kick will go to Mark Ingram at about the 7. knocked out of bounds by Mickey Sutton.
You know, one of the things that I know is easy to say that the Giants have to be looking forward to is maybe getting Lawrence Taylor back this next week. He's been on a 30-day suspension, and he'll be eligible to come back this week to play against the Redskins next week. But I think what the Giants are having problems with here today, even though Lawrence Taylor wouldn't help, it's their offense. It's keeping a hold of the ball and not giving up plays to the Rams.
It's turnovers in your own territory. Here's Sims out of the spread this time. Up the middle, complete. I don't know who it was for.
I'll tell you one thing, this Ram team, and maybe specifically the defense, I think has the Giant offense confused or off balance because they haven't been able to get anything going. And they're searching to get something going, and in searching, they're not looking too good.
The Rams were confused about what people they wanted into the game, and so they had to take another timeout. That's their second, so they have one remaining. Phil Sims over to the sideline. Mike Pope standing next to Bill Parcells, coaches the tight ends. Next Sunday, a doubleheader. It begins at 12:30 with the NFL Today. The Giants will be at Washington at RFK. Green Bay against Tampa Bay. The early games. Minnesota, Miami. Detroit, San Francisco, and Phoenix against the Rams at 4 Eastern time. But remember, it begins at 12:30 with the NFL Today. 3:07 left to play in the first half. Gary Jeter, by the way, is that he has a bruised knee, will be out for at least the rest of this half. Here's Sims. Time. Intended for Manuel. Incomplete. Leroy Irvin on the coverage. A flag is down. Going to be against the Giants.
This is going to be a half the Giants will probably be happy to get through and never want to think about again. Whatever can go wrong is going wrong. Here's a guy that Kevin Green.
Holding, 66 offense, decline. Third down.
Kevin Green is raising a lot of havoc with that offense. 66, of course, is William Roberts, who's the left tackle. And they haven't been getting much pressure from his side.
3rd and 10. 3:02 remaining first half. Rams showing blitz. But they only bring 4. Sims, incomplete for Manuel. Good coverage by Leroy Irvin. Was doubt in John Robinson's mind yesterday, I think, as to whether Irvin is going to play. No, but he is, and playing well.
I'll tell you, you know, one thing, Sims has to throw, the line has to protect. The other thing is the receivers have to get open. And that's one thing that in this first half, those Giant receivers have been out there like they have a blanket over them.
Buford's punt. Rolls out of bounds at about the 30-yard line of the Rams. Punt of 42 yards by Buford. A block punt, a fumble recovery, an interception, all in Giant territory, and the Rams got 3 touchdowns.
And then you add having trouble with your pass protection and then not having your ends be able to get open against the coverage. That makes for a long first half offensively.
I'll tell you, the clouds are moving in over the stadium, and they're hovering mostly over the Giant bench.
Maybe that's what the Giants need is a good shower. Kind of wet them down, hose them down a little, get them wet, get them going.
Going for more. Char. Aaron Cox. Cox breaks 2 tackles, and he is gone again. He did not go out of bounds. He caught a big one last week against the Raiders, and now he has another one.
And he was just out there on Perry Williams. Perry Williams is the fastest defender of the Giants, and Aaron Cox just ran right by him.
One of their prized rookies
yards. It's going to be out to the right of the screen. You see Everett, he's looking for Cox on the up all the way. He just gets a step on Williams. Williams misses the tackle. Cox just runs through another tackle.
Adrian White.
I tell you, that is some play.
The Rams 28. The Giants 3 with 2:37 left to play. Aaron Cox.
Yeah, that's something for a rookie. Jim Everett said, boy, did we need some wide receivers on this team. Then they draft Aaron Cox, number 1. They get Willie Anderson. And he said, all of a sudden, after one draft, we got ourselves 2 speedy wide receivers.
This, in addition to all that, is a great throw.
Well, it was. I mean, when Cox got the step out there on Perry Williams, he had to have the perfect throw, and he got it from Jim Everett.
He let him low and away. One play, 69 yards. We were talking about how many plays usually do you average in a drive. And we're talking to John Madden yesterday. What's ideal? And your answer was 1.
That was it. Yeah, if you're talking offense, one play. Just throw a deep one to Aaron Cox. Some fast guy, put him out there, let him run deep, throw it to him.
Lansford to kick in the direction of Ingram and Kenny Hill. It'll be Ingram. Down at the 24. James Washington made the stop. Look at this list of players acquired in the Dickerson trade.
Well, yeah, and look how much they're helping the Rams this year. Of course, Greg Bell is the 3rd leading rusher in the NFL. Aaron Cox, we just saw him score the touchdown. Gaston Green, he really hasn't come into his own yet. And then they still have a lot more left over. So you still don't know how good that trade is going to be for the Rams.
Well, right now it's working. Here's Sims back to throw. Chased again. He throws a screen pass to Adams. And tackled by Leroy Irvin after a pickup close to a first down. 9 or 10. Getting close to the 2-minute warning. The Giants have all of their timeouts remaining. The Rams have 1. Wants to get this play off and does to Adams. To 3. The Rams over the Giants. Great first half.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev...
Brent Erb and Dick Butkus with scores and highlights. Butkus' first year, so he gets his last name included.
They're going to have some good highlights, because you wonder how a Mark Riplin's going to do at Washington. They're down 9-7 to Phoenix. Then Jay Schrader starting for the Raiders. Of course, that's tomorrow night. You wonder how that trade's going to work.
There's Sims again chased and dumps it off to Adams, and Adams out of bounds in front of the Giants bench. And again, the penalty markers go down. Johnny Johnson knocked him out of bounds after he was out of bounds.
That's the thing. I think the earlier one against the Rams, when it was on Michael Stewart, I think that was a tougher one for Stewart because you can't get off him. I think on that one, I think Johnny Johnson just hit him after he was out.
Number 20 defense. First down.
Stops the clock with 1:52 left to play in the first half. Giants will have it at the Ram 35. Phil Sims, you can bang him, knock him down, sack him, but he'll stay there. For Manuel, incomplete. Great coverage by Johnny Gray. Can't do it better than that.
Hey, Wendy, that's been bigger than the sacks today. I think is the coverage by these Ram defensive backs that really the Giant receivers haven't been open. And, it's tough to throw to a guy who's covered, and they've tried the short ones, they've tried the medium ones, they've tried the deep ones, and And that one we just saw Johnny Craig going step for step with Lionel Manuel. They can't beat him.
We both called him Johnny. He's Jerry. He used to be a safety man. He's turned into one of the better corners in the NFL. Going to work the other way. Odessa Turner comes up with the ball, but he's out of bounds. Covered by Leroy Irvin.
Well, the Giants just activated Odessa Turner today. They figure if we can't go over there on Jerry Gray, let's try Leroy Irvin. Hey, he has pretty good coverage there, too.
So third down approaches. Sims is 10 out of 23 for 86 yards. The one interception. Rams lead it 28-3. Again. Adams to about the 25. Vince Newsom back in the game, made the stop.
This is going to be an interesting spot here. Whether the Giants have a first down or a fourth down. If they have a first down, of course, then they can go for a touchdown. If they have a fourth down, now they have to decide, do we kick the field goal or do we go for the first down?
Giant timeout, so that leaves them with 2 remaining.
And the Giants do have a first down. So I think that's a big thing. Now they can go for the touchdown. Now they can go for the score. They don't have to worry about picking up a first down. I think this is what the Giants, when you're down 28-3, you don't think in terms of catching up with a 28. You think in terms of 7. Let's get a touchdown.
Let's get something on the board before halftime. Then we can regroup, maybe. First and 10 at the 25.
Bavaro there. Sims is looking at the underneath guy. I think had he looked at Bavaro, he could have had a shot in the end zone.
Here's Adams. Inside the 10. Gain of 11. Another Giant timeout. Less than a minute now. 54 seconds to play. Bill Parcells.
One thing, John Elliott on this drive has kind of gotten Kevin Green under control a little over there. I think that's a big thing because it was there for a while that Green was just running right around Elliott. And on this drive, he looks like he's getting a pretty good feel for Green now, and Green isn't just running right by him anymore. Maybe Green's getting tired. You go up against a big old 300-plus guy, and you only got so many shots of that in your locker.
You get tired just running by.
Kevin Green looks like he's getting a little tired.
Yep.
And you're playing on artificial turf. You can't even get any oxygen out of the grass.
First and goal from the 9. To Ingram from Sims. 9-yard touchdown strike.
What the Giants had to do. They're just going to get Ingram here. He's going to come right here. See this hole here? He's going to come right, boom, right in there and hit that slant. And just look to him all the way. See that big hole in there? Over the linebackers in front of the corner for the touchdown.
Perfect throw. Allegre with Hostetler holding. With 50 seconds remaining. Here it is.
Sims looked at Ingram all the way. They called that after a timeout. That was called from the sideline. They talked about it, felt there was a hole there. Ingram found it, and Sims found Ingram.
We're at the Meadowlands, Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Rams 28-10, Pat Summerall, John Madden with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. At the half, Brendan Irv and Dick Butkus with scores and highlights from around the league. 28-10 Rams.
About all these quarterbacks going down this year. You know, in the first half of the season, there's been like 12 or 14 different quarterbacks that started.
Kramer went out today. Here's Bell. Right side up to about the 29. Harry Carson. Rams scoring drives after turnovers with one exception. It didn't take a lot of time, did they?
Yeah, other than that deep pass to Aaron Cox, as you said, they were after turnovers, and they had good field position. They didn't have a long field to negotiate.
But to their credit, they've been able to take advantage of it. The Giants call a timeout.
Not today.
They're just going to run it out. First half with the score. The Rams 28, the Giants 10.
Down, and again, it's right in front of the quarterback, but it's also right in front of the referee.
Gary Jeter has returned to action. Went out with a bruised knee in the first half. Second and 15 from the 23. Sims again. This time he has Lionel Manuel to the 45. Jerry Gray on the stop. And again, they go no huddle. What they're doing is trying to get quickly before the Rams can get their substitutes in the game. Hand off Adams. Chased and cut down just across midfield. Gain of 5. Mickey Sutton made the stop.
Well, those are the two adjustments they made at halftime. One is defense, get after Everett. Offense, first time we get the ball, we're not going to huddle up.
Second and 5. They go quickly again. To Bavaro. Bavaro, they still don't have him down. He is back.
Well, he's getting close to getting back. He's on the way back. Those are the things that Mark Bavaro used to do in 1986. Those are the things that not only fire up the crowd, but they also fire up your teammates. The Giants are still going without a huddle. Sure, they're going to take this whole drive without a huddle. He hurt himself on that play, Pat, because Mark Ingram was wide open. There was no one around him. He could have gotten up and run. But you can see here, I think when he hits the ground, he injured his shoulder, and there's no way that he can get up. This was a great catch. He caught that ball, holding it, because there's no Ram touches him. It looks like right at the end he was starting to think about it. He really stretched out. Look at that end zone just sitting there. That was Mickey Sutton who was covering him. Sutton fell down.
And Ingram is still down. Like he landed on his shoulder when he came down with the ball.
It's his right shoulder. I tell you, that has been some drive. This is the first time the Giants have had the ball. They got the ball, drove it down the whole field, and haven't leveled up yet.
Ingram is up and walking off the field. We'll let you know as soon as we can.
You always think when you see a drive like this, you wonder if it works so well. It's like the 2-minute drill at the beginning of the half, and people always say, why don't they do that the whole game? And that's the theory the Giants are taking.
This drive so far has lasted 3 minutes and 21 seconds. 2:21, I beg your pardon. First and goal, Giants at the 3.
can drop those things. Watch this. He only not only gives himself a right in the head, he gives himself a left in the head.
Second and goal now. Moore on the move. The handoff is to Morris. Here's it in.
On that thing on Mel Owens to let Joe Morris get to the outside here. Bavaro had a good drive. He caught 2 passes for 19 yards and made that block on the goal line. Of course, that last kickoff coverage, the Giants kind of let him off the hook here the last 2 times.
First down at the 45, the Rams 45. Everett back to throw. Outside to Bell. Holohan with a good block in front of him. Terry Williams knocked him out of bounds after a gain of 9. Next Sunday, a reminder again, it begins on CBS with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Giants will be at RFK Stadium in Washington. John Madden and I will be there as well. Green Bay against Tampa Bay. Minnesota, Miami. Detroit, the 49ers, and Phoenix and the Rams. 2nd and 1. On the stop. Picked up 3. 15 seconds to go. But Minnesota kicked the field goal to beat Philadelphia. Neil Anderson had a big day. Best start for the Bengals in a long, long time, as well as for the Bills. First down, Rams. Ball at the Giant 43. Clock running with just over 7 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Up the middle, incomplete, intended for Willie Anderson. That could have been caught. Indianapolis beat Miami. Jets over Detroit. O'Brien had a big day. Vinny Testaverde had a tough day. Dallas had 7 sacks. They also got another touchdown when Too Tall Jones batted a ball into the air. Second and 10. Bell. Inside the 40. Harry Carson made the stop. Bell got 4.
Hey, one thing, Bell knows how to get in behind his big guy. Watch Jackie Slater, right tackle. He pulls here. Bell gets right in behind him as he breaks up. Watch your right tackle. It's going to be a counter play. The offside tackle and guard both pull, but watch Bell get behind Jackie Slater there. He knows where if you're going to get a hole in the defense, you got to get behind a big tackle.
3rd and 6, and the Rams go with 3 wide receivers. And Buford McGee is the lone setback. Everett is saying, I can't hear. Defense and being very vocal about it.
Well, and they always tell the quarterback, don't go back to the huddle. Stay up at the line of scrimmage, and we'll try and quiet the crowd down. course, the crowd knows that that's the 12th man for any defense.
And they're not about to quiet down.
And the more you tell them to quiet down, the louder they're going to yell. This isn't like that tennis deal, you know.
No, not quite.
I've never seen anything like tennis. They tell them, be quiet. The guys, be quiet. Here they tell them, be quiet. You get louder.
And Everett just walks away. I can't hear.
Yeah, he's talking back there to the referee who has to stop the clock. That's why he had to point to his ear. It was so noisy the referee couldn't hear him. He had to point to his ear. See, I can't hear anything out of this hole here.
Word to the Giants is that Carl Banks has pulled a hamstring and will not be back. Everett says one more time. They can't hear me. I can't run the play.
Hey, look at this group of fans here. These are real fans. I mean, you look at that group, they know how to yell. That group knows how and they know when. And these people do not take shut up for an answer. He's trying to get help here from Bill Parcells to try and get the home team coach, and now Parcells is turning towards the crowd. He turned and told them to be quiet, but they won't listen to him either. That's the rules in the NFL. The coach has to do what Parcells is doing. If you watch him do it, he really doesn't look like he has much heart in him.
He didn't really look sincere, did he? 3rd and 6 at the Giants 39. Gonna have to start sooner or later. The Giants, Pepper Johnson stepping up and showing blitz, and Everett again says, I just can't go.
This is giving that defense a little rest. A beaten down defense, a defense that is now playing without Carl Banks. Andy Hedden's been nicked up a little, Pepper Johnson nicked up a little, and of course without Lawrence Taylor.
That's the umpire, Art Demas, who came up to Johnny Greer.
Crowd, please refrain from the noise, or we'll have to suspend the game for a while.
Hey, that's not going to do it. Some of these people, they don't know what refrain means. If you know what refrain means, you shouldn't be a football fan.
Flag on the play. Pass intended for Eller, and I think the Giants might have been offside.
I think it was Leonard Marshall on this side, Pat, number 70. Although the flag is down on the other side, but Leonard Marshall came across all that time, all that yelling, and the guy that it finally got was a Giant. But watch him. I think right here it's Leonard Marshall, I think, who moves first. He does.
Offside, right side of the line, defense. Still 3rd down.
All that thing, you think it's going to get the signal caller in the offense, and lo and behold, it gets a defensive end.
That'll make it 3rd and 1. That'll quiet the crowd just a little bit. Well, I was wrong. These really are fans, aren't they?
No, they know short yardage. And this is a big, big play.
McGee and Bell behind Everett. Bell has the first down and more. Bell inside the 25. Terry Kennard felt the front of that one.
We were talking about how Bell finishes off his run. Here's how he starts it. It looks like for a while he's surprised that he gets through there so easily. But watch right there. He thought he was going to get hit there. When he doesn't, he said, well, let me just put my head down and get a couple more of them.
Which he did.
That was a big play for the Rams.
outside was a big play. Here's Bell around the corner, flag on the play. Bill gets inside the 20 to about the 18. Johnny Cooks on the stop.
Here's a guy, John Robinson, who tells his team during the week, we'll wear him down, we'll wear him down. And I'm sure that's what he's telling right now. He's out there in the field. He's out there saying, hey, we're wearing him down.
Offside, 54, defense. Still first down.
It's on Andy Hedden. Love has just come out, the Rams offensive guard. Tony Slayton has taken his place. It'll be 1st and 5, Rams. Clock running with 5:15 left. Bell again, this time buried by Leonard Marshall. No gain.
The one thing the Rams are doing is they're keeping that Giant offense that has gotten hot right before the halftime, and then they've only had the ball once. They're keeping them off the field by having these long drives.
Del Pino in the game for the Rams in place of McGee. And look out for him.
Seems like when he's in there, they usually get the ball to him.
Cox in motion. Del Pino to about the 14. Stopped by Johnny Cooks. Gain of only 4.
I think that'd be a pretty good key when they get down inside the 20. When they put Del Pino in there, they're probably going to go to him. When they get in that 3rd down situation, if they're going to pass, then you better watch out for Pete Holohan.
3rd down and about 1 as Robert Cox has checked in as a tight end one more time. He lines up on the right side. McGee and Bell.
This is a running down for the Rams.
Bell? I don't know. Carson led the defensive charge.
Gary Carson got in there, got the penetration, and got to Bell before he got to the line of scrimmage. It'll be interesting where his knee went down and how far he fell forward.
They didn't make it.
You're going to see right there, see the penetration? Harry Carson hits him just before he gets to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get the first down. The Rams are going for the field goal here. Great defense, great play by Harry Carson.
Lansford will try from 31 yards with Holohan holding. No good. Wide left. So with 3:19 remaining now in the 3rd quarter, it's still Rams 35, Giants 24.
Bring on the...
1st and 10, Giants from their own 20. Bill McConkey in the game as a wide receiver. Pass was incomplete. They're trying to set up the screen to Adams, but a flag on the play. Mel Owens was blitzing. Put the heat on Sam. Penalty's going to be against the Giants.
That'll be 10 yards. That'll drop him back 10 yards. I'm sure the Rams will take that and back him up, even though the pass was incomplete. But I've always felt when you can back them up like that, 1st and 20.
Illegal hands to the face mask. Number 76 offense. Still first down.
I always bet 1st and 20 or even 1st and 15 because it's only half the distance is better than 1st and 10. You're going to see it right there to the right of the screen. It was away from the screen pass.
Here's Sims back to throw. Ball batted down and batted back into the end zone by Doug Reed. Duval Love, the Rams offensive guard, injured his foot. And it's questionable whether or not he'll be back.
Let's watch Mark Bavaro. See, he's helping there a little. He's going to bump the outside rusher, and then he's going to go out for a pass. That time he bumped him, and he got bumped before the ball got there.
Bumped by Carl Eckert pretty well. Sims has his pass almost picked off by Eckert that time. Headed for Manuel. Right now for an NFL update. Let's take you to Brent Musburger in our New York studio.
All right, Pat, Los Angeles Ram fans are interested in what's going on around to the Rams. Let's go back to Pat.
Rams are beating the Giants at the moment, trying to stay undefeated. 35-24, 3rd and 20. Sims dropped it for a moment. Gets it out of there to McConkey. McConkey gets away from a couple of tacklers. Finally, it's brought down by Vince Newsom. A pickup of 14.
See, and that's why I like taking that penalty, because now they get so long yardage, and even when they complete the pass on 3rd down, they're still 10 yards away from a 1st down.
Buford back to punt. And Henry Eller deep for the Rams. This time Oates didn't pull onside. Good kick by Buford. He had one block earlier. Eller tripped up by Tom Flynn. 41-yard punt, 4-yard return.
Yeah, you look at that last drive when the Rams, when the crowd was so loud, that became a big play when Marshall jumped offside. John Robinson is still complaining about something. Official looks like he's agreeing with it. One of those things where he's shaking his head and saying no.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, but John's saying, don't say you'll watch it, throw a flag.
1st and 10 Rams at the 38. He's going to another committee.
Offense. Still 1st down.
You see Doug Smith there. He's a Pro Bowl center. Now just that picture there, he really looks like a center. You know, you're in there, you're in the middle of the pitch, you're banging around all day. You got a little hair coming down. You got a good, head, neck on you. You fill up the helmet. Got some stuff hanging out of it.
It's like the helmet's not quite big enough.
That's good though. You got to have some stuff hanging out.
To Damone Johnson. Mark Collins stopped him, a 10-yard pickup, making it 2nd and 5 or 6. He's a tough guy.
He sure is. Hey, and he's gotten burned. He got burned by Jerry Rice, remember, against the 49ers, and last week Herschel Walker got him on one. But he is not only a tough guy, but he's one of the quickest footed defensive backs I've seen in the league. I think Mark Collins is going to become a real good one in this league and stay a good one for a long time.
2nd down. Holohan is the move man. Handoff is to Bell. He has 1st down and more as he hammers into Giant territory. Hill and Kennard on the stop.
I'll tell you one thing, Bell finishes off those hits, but let's look at how many hits he's taken today. Look at that, running the ball, he's been hit 90 times already, 7 blocking, and then of course the receiving, he has 6. So far he's been hit 103 times. Now that's the type of thing that you have your adrenaline, the heat going now, you don't feel it now, but I'll guarantee you he'll feel that tomorrow.
Gained 76 yards. Everett out of the pocket. He's going to take off with it. And he slides for a Ram 1st down. Gained 15. He's not known for his running ability, but he is very intelligent.
Did you notice that after he ran, his eyes grew a little bigger? I'll tell you, that's something. When you're running, you're going to get a 1st down. You see all those guys converging on you, and you know what's happening in the middle. There's no one around you, and you have no idea what's going to happen at the end. your circumference of your eyes will grow by at least 10 centimeters.
If you're human. Mark Herman talking to him. The Rams backup quarterback. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Rams 35, the Giants 24. We now pause for a word from your local station. Back at Giants Stadium, the Rams Giants. Pat Summerall, John Madden, 35-24. The Rams lead it. 1st and 10 at the Giants 32. To Bell. Close to first down yardage. Got 9. Kenny Hill, the safety man, tripped him up.
You know, it looks like the Ram offense is wearing down the Giant defense because they're starting to miss tackles now. And you look at the time of possession in that third quarter, the Rams added 11 minutes, 16 seconds to the Giants' 3 minutes, 44 seconds. And you can see that you know, that's what the Rams always talk about. Wear them down, wear them down, wear them down. We'll get to them at the end. And I think in this third quarter, we're starting to see something like that happen.
1st and 10. Bell and Delpino. The two runners. Hand off Delpino to the 20. Picked up 2. Leonard Marshall.
Let's watch a guard here, Tom Newberry, the left guard here, 66, and just watch how when he drives out on run block and how powerful he is. I mean, when he makes contact, he gets his head, helmet underneath, and he just straightens the guy up that he's blocking.
Tell you what, the other guard, Slayton, who replaced Duval Love, also got a good block.
I think that's one thing about this Ram offensive line. They're all very good run blockers. If you can't run block, you can't play for the Rams.
Bell and Delpino, and Everett retreats. Ooh. I think Holohan made a different move than what Everett expected.
Yeah, we were talking about Jim Everett. Look, here is square. Here's his left foot back. And the reason he has to get is to get out of the way of him when he pulls. Most quarterbacks have their feet parallel. Everett gets that left foot back so that he can get out of the way of Tom Newberry. And that's something he just changed this offseason. One, to get away from Newberry and his center, but also to get into a better pass drop back.
3rd and 8 at the Giant 20. Everett trying to get away. Can't do it. Chased down by Andy Hedden. That's their first sack of the day. Bell tried to block Hedden. He got away from him.
That's why you need speed on the outside. Watching the top of the picture, Hedden just gets away from Bell. Everett starts to run. Bell tries to grab him, and Hedden just runs down Everett. Everett was looking for that sideline and just couldn't get there.
So Lansford will try this time from 41 yards. Just missed from 31. This one is good, and there's a flag on the play. You're going to call roughing the kicker against the Giants.
This is an interesting thing for John Robinson. Do you take the points off? Right here you see he has the field goal. No, I don't know about that call. I mean, that's
Running
not
into
a
the
very
kicker.
good call.
Defense, it's declined. Field goal's good.
Ricky Shaw ran into Lansford, and John Robinson did not take the points off the board. 38-24. We're in the fourth quarter now. Like that. Lansford will kick off. He just hit a 41-yarder to make the score 38-24. I think the Giants are going to try something here. Unusual. Sheldon White. No. Sheldon out to about the 29-yard line. Now what's your strategy if you're Bill Parcells?
First of all, I think, again, they're 2 touchdowns down. I think John Robinson was smart by not taking those points off, because that means that the Giants need 2 touchdowns. So I think they always have to remember that. But you don't go for after 14 points. I think you start now, stay solid, maybe go back to the no-huddle thing again, but get the 7 first. Just work on the 7. Just worry about that.
Sims out of the spread. Complete to Lionel Manuel. Jerry Gray was the defender, but a gain of 15 and a Giant first down.
I think that move that the Giants did in the 3rd quarter with no huddle worked real well. And I think, as I said, they should go back to it. And as we see here, they are going back to it. It was very effective.
With all the situation substitutions, here's Adam. Right side for 2. You just don't give the Rams a chance to get their defensive specialist in the game.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And the Rams have 3 groups, especially. One, they have their base defense on 1st down. Then they have that eagle on 2nd down, and then their nickel on 3rd down.
Now they're going against the regular 3-4. Intended Barbaro behind him, covered by Johnny Johnson. It'll bring up 2nd down. 3rd down and 8, beg your pardon.
Right, and the thing that makes all this thing successful is that you have to get 1st down. There's Bill Belichick. He's the defensive coordinator of the Giants. He's diagramming the plays that the Rams are running. To be a defensive coach, you have to be able to draw upside down.
It's like he might have worked for you at one time. Not much pressure. The ball's batted, almost intercepted.
Eckern is a guy who's been in the league 12 years. That's the 2nd play that he's almost intercepted here in the last 2 drives. And he's one of those guys, not a spectacular player, but a guy who always seems to be in the right place.
It was Kevin Green that got the hand on the ball, that deflected it in his direction. Mickey Sutton, Johnny Johnson back deep his behind. Buford, good kick. Going to start for the Rams at the 20. 53-yard kick. Rams will take over, leading 38-24. 12 minutes remain. Game in a few lines. It'll be difficult because the score is 38-24. 2 turnovers, 1 block punt led to 21 Ram points. And they continue to lead 38-24. McGee and Bell. The middle. For an NFL update again, let's send you to New York, the studio, and Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat, I know the Giant fans are interested in the Redskins because they go to RFK next week. Now, this touchdown pass by Neil Lomax has the Skins in trouble. A great move by Roy Green. Jetstream scores. It's 23-14 now. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go in that game. Back to Pat.
Score here is 38-24. The Rams unbeaten. The Giants started at 2-1. Rams lead at 38-24. Bell again. Bell this time fighting, but no yards, and a penalty flag goes down. Ball is loose. Gain of only a yard.
Against the Rams, but the Giants can't be taking a lot of penalties. They got to get downs, get rid of downs, and get the ball back because, again, they need 2 touchdowns to tie.
Holding, 87 offense. Still 2nd down.
Embry is coming out right now. Was the man called for holding. That'll make it 2nd at 17. The Rams back up now to their own 13.
Where the Giants can go after him, and again, this is where you try and get a touchdown on defense, because if you can get a fumble or an interception here, it can be a 7-point turnover.
They got one on defense. The interception touchdown returned by Pepper Johnson. The handoff is to Gaston Green, and there's nothing there. Eric Dorsey, Carl Banks with a pulled hamstring. Now has been iced down, and he won't be back.
Well, that's a tough year for Carl Banks. You know, when you hold out, you know that once you come back, you're going to take every type of criticism there is. They're going to say, I told you so. You missed training camp, look what happens to you. Yeah, you get off to a slow start, then you get hurt. And I know that they're going to blame it all on the holdout, but sometimes stuff happens. I mean, you pull stuff and you really can't blame the whole. I mean, it's been too long. This is his, fourth game.
3rd and 14. No chances. They give to Bell. Bell at the 20. Rocked backwards after a gain of 4. Tell you what, he has shown everybody a lot of courage and determination today.
Hey, he's a tough guy, and he's, we chart the hits a running back takes, and you can see why Greg Bell takes so many, because he runs square, and he really finishes off his run.
Mario, good, solid spiral kick taken by McConkey to about the 43. I don't think the Giants had enough men on the field, but no problem. 42-yard punt by Camarillo. Scored his first NFL touchdown early in the second half. Not many fans have left. It's the Rams 38, the Giants 24. Giant ball at their own 44 with 9:19 left to play. Into Ram territory.
This is the type of thing that Lionel Manuel could do so well. If you're going to play that loose zone, he can find an area and get out there. There's not much. You wonder why the Rams were so successful in the first half covering these receivers. Then they get a 14-point lead, and they get so cautious that there was no one within 5 yards of Manuel when he caught that ball.
It's Art Demas.
Well, they have to be checking this to see if Manuel's inside. 1, 2. He dragged that right foot, so he did have both feet inbound.
4 catches for 61 yards for Lionel Manuel.
Last week against the Cowboys, of course, he had his biggest game of his career with 9 receptions. Let's watch Mark Bavaro here. It's a pass, and they need pass protection. They had a little trouble in the first half, so now what they're doing is they're keeping Bavaro in sometimes, as they did then, to help with the pass protection. I think they're still reviewing that thing, Pat, but he had both feet in bounds.
Johnny Greer, the referee, look again.
He has the ball. His left hits, and he drags the right there. Everything's okay.
After further review, the play stands. First down.
Harry Carson, the veteran, came up with that big interception last week against the Cowboys. Sims, the spread. Sack, down, and a penalty flag went down. Doug Reed got the Rams' 4th sack. That gives them 25 for this year. They only had 36 all of last year.
Holding. 76 offense. It's declined. Second down.
Hey, it's been a long day for John Elliott. He's had a lot of things happen to him here. And again, he's been working against the speed, and that time he was working against Doug Reed.
Over the middle to Adams. Adams to the 35. Gain of 11. Mel Owens and Carl Eckern brought Adams down. Again, no huddle.
Again, I think the Giants have 2 downs to get a first down here because they need touchdown, not field goal.
Over the middle to Adams again. close to the first down. Cut down by Jerry Gray.
And that's going to take a play, Pat. I think they're going to mark it short. So now it's a 4th down play without a huddle. I don't know that you have to pass. They'll probably run that draw.
Rick had it. He didn't get it. He did not get it. Kevin Green was the first Ram there.
I don't think you can do that. A draw is a long yardage play. It's a passing down play. And that's the only run when they're in the shotgun that they can run. That's that draw to Adams. They wanted to run to get the first down. That was the only thing that they had.
And the Rams saw it coming.
Well, as you look back, you could say they probably should have taken a timeout, gotten a short yardage offense in there, picked up the first down, then gone back to the shotgun.
So it'll be first down Rams at their own 33. A dejected Phil Simms, an angry Phil Simms.
Well, you hate to be locked into having to run from shotgun when you only have one run.
McGee and Bell, 2 tight ends for the Rams. Bell hit behind the line, breaks 2 or 3 tackles. Got a tough 2 yards.
There's only been a couple times today for Greg Bell that he's gotten any easy yards. That was that one time on short yardage when he busted through there and no one hit him. But his yardage has come the tough way today.
Andy Hedden limping off the field.
Let's look at Bell. On his first 5, he gained 23 yards. His second 5, he only gained 7, but watch how he gets stronger. Third 5, 16, fourth 5, 21, and his fifth 5, he's gained 26 yards. So look at that bar thing as it goes up at his third, fourth, and fifth set of 5.
Everett back to throw. Incomplete. Out of bounds. Willie Anderson held on. Perry Williams, the defender. There's Andy Hedden over on the Giant bench.
And of course, they also lost Carl Banks. And when you lose a guy to a pulled muscle, he's not going to be back the next week. Now the question is, will Lawrence Taylor be back next week when they play the Redskins? He's going to be eligible to come back, but again, the league has to okay him. He has to pass that test. Then he goes to the club doctors, and they have to okay him, and then eventually gets back to the club.
So it's 3rd and 8. Bell stopped by Tom Flynn, and the Rams will have to punt. A loss of 1.
Hey, what the Rams are trying to do is, with a 2-touchdown lead, just don't give a turnover. Don't give field position.
That's Phil McConkey, who will be back deep. Rich Camarillo. They'll probably be coming after this one. The Rams doing a lot of pointing, and you got him, and I got him. Don't let him loose. Here they come. McConkey. No place to go. Anthony Newman was the first man down. McConkey lost one on the return. Final scores again. 6.5 minutes left to play at Giant Stadium. It's the Rams 38, the Giants 24. Cincinnati and Buffalo remain unbeaten, 4-0. And the Rams headed in that direction. McConkey is still down.
It was good coverage by the Rams. McConkey had no place to go. And you see what happened. It's his left leg there. Look at that. He had his left foot planted, and the tackler came in and hit him at the left knee. That is a tough one. And one of the toughest things with this artificial turf, and this is a new field here for the Giants this year, when you get that foot planted, it really plants in turf. And then when you get hit, the only thing left to go is a joint if the foot is really planted.
And with the improvement of the shoes. There's Andy Haddon, who has a pinched nerve in his neck and will not return. Start to say with the shoes have gotten better for artificial turf. It gives you even better traction.
And that's why I always hated artificial turf. I mean, I think that artificial turf and dome stadiums, you don't need that in football. You don't need that here, but we do have it. And you see Ingram there, and how did he get hurt? He got hurt diving for a ball, landing on that turf. It's like catching a pass on the freeway.
That's McConkey, like it obviously is his left knee that got twisted. Here comes Jeff Hostetler into the game along with Phil Simms.
Well, Hostetler is a backup wide receiver. McConkey had been playing some wide receiver in this 3 wide receiver set. So when he come out, Hostetler has to come in as a wide receiver.
They've already lost Ingram. It's up the middle. Hostetler had it and dropped it. The Rams pick up the ball and recover the fumble. Newsome does it. Those of you who watch San Francisco
Eastern Division, all 2-2.
Sheldon White, return man. Barry Kelm on the stop. For another NFL update, let's send you again to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Pat, the Giant defense has faced Jim Everett today, and next week they'll look at this young man. And Mark Rippon has thrown 3 touchdown passes. He has Washington still on the hunt. About a minute and a half to go. Redskins have the ball. Let's go back to Pat and John.
We have 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. 45-24. Haven't given up this many points at home in a long, long time. Tribute to that man.
And John Robinson to say, if we get this kind of start, we better watch out, because he was saying last night, we aren't a great team yet, but we might be.
Tackled by Kevin Green. He's had a good day.
Well, they started out in the first half as a pass rusher. Now that the Rams have the lead, he's become a pass defender.
Emmanuel. Vince Newsome on the coverage, but he had both feet down that time, a gain of 9. Stops the clock with 4.5 minutes left.
Physical games back to back. That one down there last week in Dallas was a tough game. Then they come back with a tough one today. You wonder what they're going to have left next week.
Still on his feet, out of bounds at the Ram 30-yard line. Pickup of 19.
And you say, well, how about the Rams? It's been physical for them, too. Except I'll tell you, the physical is a lot different when you win.
You get well faster, don't you?
I know. Things don't hurt as much, and stiffness doesn't get quite as stiff, and ice is a little colder, and a smile comes easier, and sweat goes off faster, and you know, and all those things happen when you win.
They pick up the blitz. He ought to have something. He does have something. Simms down by Jerry Gray. But scrambles for 13. 4 minutes now left to play.
Bill Parcells was thinking about a 3rd and a 4th down. That 3rd down where they jumped offside. Remember Leonard Marshall? And the 4th down where they ran the draw and didn't get a 1st down. That was the game right there.
Those will be 2 that he thinks about a long time. Diving, almost catch by Mark Navarro. Incomplete, however.
Then I think he's he's going to wonder how much defense he's going to have. You know, when you see, Carl Banks going out, and you see Andy Hedden going out, and you just don't have guys there. And then you're playing the Redskins next week.
How about wide receivers? You playing your backup quarterback at wide receiver. He's not now. Got Odessa Turner to the left. Ingram down with a broken collarbone. Here's Sims. Manuel held on but was out of bounds. Mickey Sutton.
Spend that kind of day. They can get a little something. They can get a little open. They can get a little open in the end zone, but they just can't get both feet in. See, he had the left foot was fine. The second foot, being that right foot, stepped on the line.
Clock stop with 3:37 remaining. It does look like the Cardinals are going to beat the Redskins. Cedric Mack has just returned a fumble recovery for a touchdown. That lead looks safe. Sims outside Adams. In the grasp of Jerry Gray. Down he goes.
And with the 49ers coming back this week against Seattle, Joe Montana having a big day. The Rams, with the win, need that win for a one-game advantage in that Western Division. That's going to be a fight out all the way down the line, I think, with those two, and maybe New Orleans, too.
New Orleans won today, so they're 3-1, tied with the 49ers.
You know, the thing I think with the Giants in this Eastern Division, if you're going to be in this division and you're going to get to the playoffs, you're going to have to win the division. I do not see, and this is the way they feel too, that there's probably not going to be a wild card coming from this division because they keep playing each other. They play each other early and they knock each other off.
And now health becomes a problem. When you think about Washington losing Doug Williams and the Giants' injury situation now.
How about the health of the quarterbacks just alone in the NFL?
General, yeah.
I think one thing that they're doing is they're opening up these formations with these 3 and 4 wide receivers and going maximum guys out for a pass, minimum protection, and the quarterbacks are just taking too many shots.
Here's Sanders. Bavaro. Giant touchdown. He just walked in. 16 yards out. But someone else is down. This is Damian Johnson, but he seems to be okay.
I think if there's any good news for the Giants today, it's the way Mark Bavaro is playing and maybe is close to being back.
That is one encouraging note. Allegre for the extra point. Those of you who watched Phoenix beat Washington 30-21, the Giants had just scored. And that's Raul Allegre's extra point. We have 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining at Giant Stadium. And the Rams lead the Giants, and that's correct, 45-31. That's Mark Bavaro, who just scored the touchdown.
You know, and this is his 6th catch. He has a touchdown here. He's caught for 74 yards, and this is the first game that he's had that looked like Mark Bavaro of old. You can even see him there in the sidelines. He looks like he feels better about the game. I think if there's one bright spot in this thing for the Giants, as we were talking about before, is that Mark Bavaro is coming back to his old self.
6 for 74. Again, a reminder that following the conclusion of this game, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast. The presidential debates.
Yeah, who would have thought if we said before the game, this game is going to produce at least 76 points? Everyone would go, not these two. What, the Giants and the Rams? They couldn't do that in a month.
Everyone thought it was going to be a very low-scoring game.
You know, including the opponents. You know,
right.
they each thought that. The teams thought that. The players thought that. The coaches thought that. Who would have thought Jim Everett would throw for 5 touchdown passes?
There's the onside kick handled by John Embry. NFL update again. Let's send you back to New York and to Brent Musburger.
Pat, for those folks who didn't see it, this is how Phoenix sealed the fate of the Washington Redskins. Ripping on the scramble, and he's run down by Freddie Joe Nunn. He fumbles. It is scooped up by Cedric Mack. He goes in for the clinching touchdown. A 4-way tie for first in the NFC East, only Philadelphia lagging behind. Back to Pat and John.
And the Eagles aren't that far behind. They're 1-3 and almost beat Minnesota today. Going to be some race in the East. Here's Bell. That should put him over 100 yards for the day. Stopped by Terry Kennard. He got 6. Timeout, Giants, with 2:56 left. The injuries they suffered today. Andy Hedden, a pinched nerve in his neck. Carl Banks pulled a hamstring. Mark Ingram, after a spectacular catch, broke his collarbone. And Phil McConkey has a sprained knee. A lot of people have decided it's hopeless, I think. Headed out on the Jersey Turnpike. Jim Everett, who has thrown for 5 touchdowns today.
You know, in talking to Jim Everett last night, I just got the impression that this NFL and the Rams and pro football and all that was finally starting to make sense to him. Ernie Zampese came a year ago. Things were kind of confusing. They lose Dickerson in the middle of the season. Then I think this offseason, and maybe the start of the season, things started to make sense. Everything's coming into focus.
And he's become very much one of the leaders on this Ram team. Eric Dorsey stopped Bell. Giants take their last timeout. 4-yard pickup. Close to a first down. Again, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. If it's Sunday, it must be 60 Minutes. And if it's 60 Minutes, it's everybody's favorite news magazine. Then it's the presidential debate, followed by a summary and analysis. Next is Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, but on the West Coast. Tonight on CBS begins with the presidential debate. That's then followed by a summary and analysis. Then it's 60 Minutes, and then it's Murder, She Wrote. That's all tonight on CBS.
Yeah, we were watching that Phoenix-Washington replay where Rippon fumbled the ball. Doesn't seem like quarterbacks have been hit in the back and fumbled more this year than any time you can remember.
This is Bell again, and he's got the Ram first down. Pickup of 2. John Washington made the stop. You know, Charles White, who led the NFL in rushing last year, will be coming back, assumingly coming back. Wonder what John Robinson then will do with Greg Bell.
Well, I think he would probably like to play all of his running backs in. You know, we talked about Lawrence Taylor coming back, or eligible to come back this week for the Giants. On the Rams, Charles White still has 1 more week, so he wouldn't be eligible to come back this next week. It would be the week after that. In fact, that would be about the time that they're getting ready to play the 49ers in their big rivalry game.
Down to 2 minutes remaining. Rams on top.
What does the 1-minute rate comparison mean to you as a company? There aren't too many people I know that speak for exactly 60 seconds and hang up. The real question is, how do you compare the volume of calls that I have to make to the locations that I have to make for the amount of time and the time of day? And AT&T, when you consider the volumes, the locations, and the true talking time, AT&T is extremely competitive. I mean, that's why I have clients coming back.
From one of the most competitive fields in the auto industry, Road and Track chose 4 finalists for its Best Value Award. As their winner, they chose the same car so many buyers are choosing, Ford Taurus.
Now get a $500 cash bonus on Ford Taurus.
Now the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette, personal hygiene. I suggest the maximum protection of new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette, antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
This year, 24 men and women are going to Seoul, Korea. Going for the gold. Coors Light is proud to be a sponsor of the USA National Men's and Women's Volleyball teams. Proud to be sending our best.
2 minutes remain. Rams 45, Giants 31. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 Rams at the Giant 35. Giants are out of timeouts, so they can't stop it. We've been talking, John, about the quarterback situation and how many changes there have been. Look at this.
13 teams have used 2. 2 teams have used 3 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks already. 11 have changed because of injury and 4 because of coaches' decisions. But from the start of the seasons, there's been 15 quarterback changes. Now, that's why I've never understood a quarterback controversy when you have 2 good ones, like Montana and Steve Young. They say it's a controversy. We got to get rid. Why? Because if you stay around long enough in this league, the way it's played today, you're going to need 2 and maybe 3 and maybe 4.
Minute 17. 45-31. Rams lead. Their flight back to Los Angeles will be a tired one, but an enjoyable one. Greg Bell, a big day. Holohan, a big day. Everett, a big day. The offensive line, look at the hit chart for Greg Bell.
Look at that. He's had 137 hits. I tell you, he'll look at his body tomorrow, and he'll probably have about 50-some welts. About a welt for each half a hit. Or maybe if it's really good hits, he can count those 137. He can show them all over his body. Here they are.
There were some good ones, some tough ones. But to his credit, he kept pounding it.
Back in there in the second half.
John Taylor from the 5. James Washington down with Michael Stewart to make the stop for the Rams. Joe Montana, last night, as soon as the team broke the meetings, he went for treatment on his arm and his ribs. And then later last night, back in his own room, he had ice on his elbow and one of those electronic shock treatment things with which to work on his rib.
I'm sure he also had a shot today in the rib so that that thing is dead.
Roger Craig. Berniez taking Wilshire's place. Brought him down.
Now here's where Joe Montana's passed. You see, the bottom ones are the 4 short zones. The top ones are the 3 deep. So he's thrown deep twice to the left. He's thrown none deep to the middle and 1 out there to the right. That was one to Jerry Rice. 2 for 3 to the left zone, 3 for 5 in the middle zone, 5 for 5 in the second middle zone, and 1 for 1 outside. So you can see the biggest part of his completions are in that short area, less than 15 yards.
2nd and 6. That's why he's so hard to rush. Rams only sacked him once. Rathman hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain. John Miller. The word on Wilshire is that he did suffer a concussion and will not return.
He suffered a concussion. The first thing they wanted to do, it was so hot in the field, they wanted to get him off the field so that the heat wouldn't be a part of that.
Alvin Wright, a little bit gimpy. Gary Jeter's taking his place. 3rd and 6. put a move right off the ball. He just jumped right past.
Well, you know what happened on that, Pat? You'll see Jeter there right on the left of the screen. That's that eagle look. Giroux is up over the center, and Jeter's to the left. Now watch the left guard. He steps down to block Giroux, and no one gets Gary Jeter.
Very helpful.
You see it here. You see Zappulla. He steps down to block Giroux, and Rathman, I guess, was supposed to block Jeter.
Henry Ellard fields it for the Rams. Cuts in between a couple of tacklers and some more. Now gets in the 49er territory to their 38, 39, where he's knocked out of bounds by Sam Kennedy. Good return. 39-yard punt. A return of 19.
Again, I think that was what the Rams probably talked about at halftime is let's get up there, let's tighten up on that run so we can get them in that third down situation where they have to pass, maybe confuse them. Again, get some pressure on Joe Montana. Montana's there and the opponent saying, who was supposed to block Jeter on that play, Rathman or Sapulu?
Everett just barely does get rid of it. Del Pino. It's picked off by Ronnie Lott. Del Pino was the intended receiver. Lott with the interception. Everett was hit just as he let it go, and that caused the interception.
That was part of it. He has a good pass rush here by the 49ers. We see Haley coming in. He was the guy who hit him, 94, Charles Haley, just as he was throwing it. But then I think the other thing is, the area Everett threw it to, there were 3 49ers in that area. What? 1, 2, 3 white jerseys there. 2 of them fell down. Ronnie Lott was the only one up, and he intercepted the ball. That was one you say, well, the quarterback shouldn't have thrown that. Well, heck yes, he shouldn't have. That's easy to say, but when you have number 94 on you and you can't see all those guys.
And you get nothing on the ball when you're being knocked backwards by Charles Haley.
Young, the quarterback.
Young is the quarterback.